Welcome back to my channel, Guardians. This is Soul Betty here. You can call me Soul. You can call me Betty. If we are dropping in ranked Apex and you're using your microphone, you can call me anything you like as long as you're contributing to the win. So today, we're going to jump right into it. This is not a long video by any means. We're just going to talk about Season 15 and what we think about it so far. So I want you to think, while we're going through this, what has been your best experience so far with the new character and or the new map or the new season as a whole? So I'm going to start. First and foremost, I got to talk about the map a little bit. And I wasn't sure what I was going to expect going into Season 15. I did get a little bit of a snapshot of what the map was going to look like. And then through others' perspectives via YouTube, I did get to see the map a little bit, but didn't really understand how it was going to play out. So I was pleasantly surprised at a couple of things on this map. One, I definitely like the size of the map. I feel like it's somewhere in between, your Storm Point and your Olympus. Feels a little bit bigger than Olympus, but a little bit smaller than Storm Point. Now, part of this might be the way that the vertical's set up, where we don't have the big hills that we got to climb or go down. So relative, it could be very similar size in Storm Point, or even that matter, it might be bigger. I don't know how to measure it, but because it doesn't have that vertical up and down on the map, it doesn't seem bigger, and it seems like it's nice to get around. Lots of points of interest, and I love this. It just seems like it's built from a competitive standpoint. Again, I'm a casual gamer, but anytime something built for competitive, it typically relates and translates well for the casual base. The other thing that I really like about this map is it really seems like it's easy to go from one POI to another POI. And the zip line feature, if that's what you'd want to call it, it's almost like a roller coaster, right? Like a top loaded roller coaster, like the Riddler or Batman, where you're kind of hanging down from it. Really allows you to move among a POI pretty fast, as well as going from one POI to another POI by jumping from one rail to another rail. And the speed is really nice. Like, I really feel like if you dodge some bullets, you're in some trouble. Maybe you're a solo and you're running away from something. If you get to those zip lines, I feel like you have a really good shot of getting away, depending on where those enemies are. But this is making the rotations very nice, right? I also feel like every point of interest that you go to has something new, has some good interactions with the environment, has some good layers to it when you're fighting. So whether that's multiple stories in a building, whether that's hills or declines, zip lines, things like that. It feels for the most part that all the POIs are very well balanced and very nice places to fight in isolated situations. And it feels so far like it's limiting the third-party interactions, with the exception of dropping hot. That was really the only place that I experienced, some heavy third-party actions. And for me, that's great, especially coming off of Kings Canyon. I'm still scarred from that. Every time we play Kings Canyon, I feel like we're getting third-partied all the time. It was nice to have Storm Point in there before this season started, but this feels pretty good so far. Now, do keep in mind, third parties still happen. I just feel like they're a lot more manageable because we're not getting one right after another, which allows us to do our shield swaps or healings or rezzing, all that kind of stuff. And that seems to be going well so far. And the last thing I'm going to hit about the map that I think is very important is the loot pool. I feel like everywhere I've landed, I've had an abundance of loot. I've been able to gather guns that I typically prefer. For me, my favorite loadout is either going to be a flatline with a Volt or a 301 with a car, something where I can mix up my ammos. Even flatline with car would work as long as I'm rocking light as well. I don't typically run double of the same ammo just for the fear of running out. But I feel like the loot pool has been very good. Some opportunities with the shields, but I think that that's probably good for the game anyways, because it gives you an opportunity to level up your Evo shield. But so far, that's been pretty good. All right, new character. So I'm just going to throw it out there. I haven't actually played the new character myself, but my teammates have. And here's just some of the things that I've noticed so far. So one, the wall, although pretty cool. I play Valk. I feel like it was pretty easy just jumping over and getting to do what I needed to do to clean up some fights. I'll include that in my video down below, or the video that you're watching, so that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It does slow me for a couple of seconds, but I feel like I was able to navigate that wall pretty easily. I do like the Q where they're throwing down kind of like that mud / tar. It kind of messes you up a little bit, and I had a few fights where it threw me off. But again, I didn't feel like it was OP or that it was really going to change the meta in the game at all. It just felt like very much like Vantage. It'll be fun to play for a week or two, and then I think we're going to see the same meta come back. And for me, that's kind of a disappointment, because I think, 2 weeks in or even sooner, we're going to go back to seeing a lot of the same characters. Gibby's going to be huge again. Seer / Bloodhound are going to be played very much. And then your Valks and Horizons are going to be up there. So I think you're going to see a lot of the same meta, where I thought this was really going to shake the meta up. I just don't see that being a factor. I don't know how much it's interrupting Seer, because I haven't had a Seer that's successfully ulted us in the middle of a fight, unfortunately. But I just don't think it's going to be enough to switch that meta. So that to me is a little bit disappointing. All right. Overall gameplay. So sound definitely hasn't been fixed. If you watch my last video, we're still having issues with sound. People running up on you from behind and not hearing it, or taking a jump pad and the sound kind of sounds a little bit delayed. So that's an issue. But we do know, based off of the developers not continuing on with that cross-save function, where they said 90% of the developers were working on, that they were going to start working on other aspects of the game, which they did not specifically say sound, but they kind of alluded to it. So I'm really hoping that either next split or going into season 16, we're going to see a little bit of an improvement from a sound perspective. And I think that's going to go a long ways, right? I think that from a smoothness, I think we're going right out of season 14 into season 15, and we're not skipping a beat. I think that the smoothness of the game is very enjoyable. I'm not getting any skip frames. I'm not getting any lag spikes, which we usually get at the start of a season because so many people are playing on the servers. It just felt really smooth yesterday. The aim felt really smooth. I felt like when I was missing shots, it was definitely me missing shots and not so much the game assisting me in missing shots, which can be a real thing sometimes. So I feel like that has been a real positive. And then ultimately, I just think that going into season 15 and having that first day, I feel like it's going to be an enjoyable season, right? One last notable before I wrap this up is that ranked hasn't changed at all. So if you played ranked in the last split, or the last season, season 14 split 1 and 2, the rank system is going to stay the same. I'll praise that a little bit for the early ranks, having a rookie and going into bronze, silver, gold, so on and so forth. But as you get in the higher level lobbies, it is nice to be able to get a lot more KP and really rack up that RP, but it doesn't make it as interesting when you're grinding. And it really feels like the more you grind versus your skill getting better throughout a season, the higher you're going to go up. And, that might be good. I mean, if you're a Predator, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. But I really feel like if we went back to season 13 split 1, that rank system might be a little bit better with some tweaks for your casual player base like me. That might not take it so long to get to that like diamond or even masters, right? So just some things to think about. So I'm going to leave you with this, Legends. What do you think of the first day, having a new map, having a new character, the season overall, and the ranks staying the same? I really want to hear from you. I'd also like to hear what other content you would like to see on my channel. Currently, I'm doing a lot of Apex and Overwatch, but I am open to doing anything you folks would like to see, as long as I can earn your business, which would be that like and subscribe. And if it's really good content, I would definitely like to hear and see some of your comments down below. So with that being said, Legends, I hope you have a great day in the arena. If you see me, please turn on your mic. Let's have some fun together, and let's rack up some of those dubs. Have a wonderful day.